Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with the Church Gossip. It's Nandra Williams here. So you remember what I always say that church and gossip, the two don't go together. Anyway, so I have one gist for you. You know how God tells us in His Word in Deuteronomy chapter 1, He says, that if we diligently obey the voice of the Lord our God, that these blessings will come upon us and overtake us. And so he tells us all these things about blessings. Anyway, it's the same thing when your parents tell you to do something and then you decide to wander off and go and do your own thing. So let me give you this. So one day my dad, he was leaving the house and I was at home and he told me this was in Africa. I was in secondary school. And he told me, he was like, don't go anywhere. Make sure you're home. I was the only one at home and my dad. He said, don't go anywhere. He went out. He said, don't go anywhere. I want you to stay home. And then make sure you don't go anywhere. Just make sure you're at home. I was like, okay, yes. I obediently listened to everything he had to say. And then he went. So after I heard his car drive off through the gate, I started thinking about this, my friend. Her name was Joy. She lived across the street from me. And when I would always go to her house and we watch movies with her brothers and sisters. And then so I decided I was going to go to her house. So I now left the house. I left the house. So before I left the house, I didn't want to take the key to the house with me because I thought I would misplace it. So I now locked the door. I checked all the windows, everything, locked the door, and I left the house. And but before I left, I hid the key. And then I went across the street and I watched a horror movie with my friends. So I had so much fun. We watched the horror movie. We talked about the effect and how we moaned about it. Okay. So the movie was over. It was almost time for my dad to return. So I decided to come home like 30 minutes before he would get home. So I got home 30 minutes before. I wanted to open the door. I couldn't find the key. I ran back to my friend's house, checked everywhere. We couldn't find the key. Came back to my house, checked everywhere outside. I couldn't find the key. Oh, by now. And then it was like 5 minutes for my dad to come. I was panicking. Okay. At exactly the time I was expecting my dad to come, I heard the sound of his car coming through the gates. So we had two houses in the same compound. So I could hear the sound of his car. We always used to know the sound of his car because of the way the air conditioning used to sound and the way the car used to come. So I heard his car coming. So there was I standing outside and my dad came down from the car. So he asked me, he was like, why are you standing outside? It's like, oh, because I can't go back into the house. He said, what did you do? So I told him what I had done. It's like, okay. He didn't say anything. So my dad, his orderly and him and myself, we started checking for the key. We finally found the key. We had hidden it in front of the house, but by then we had gone around the whole compound, gone and asked the neighbors in the other house. We found the key. The orderly and the driver left, and then my dad now said, okay, let's go in. So we went into the house. My dad didn't say anything. He never used to say anything. When you were in a lot of trouble, he didn't talk much. How you know that you were in a lot of trouble and you were going to get a spanking was he would climb up the stairs. So my dad went up the stairs and then he came down. When he came down, he now told me he listed out what my sins were and how I put, the security of the house, and everything. And he talked about it. Then when he finished, he now said, okay, so now I'm going to discipline you. Anyway, I got the spanking of my life. I don't think I remember twice that I've been spanked like that. And I got spanked. I got spanked so badly. Okay, that was one. So I got spanked badly. And I was like, oh, I had the effects of the spanking. Then in the night, we had gone and watched the horror movie. And it was called Exorcist. In the night, it was now time to sleep. By then, my mom had come back. My grand aunt had come back. And my brothers and sisters had come back. So they were now back in the house and it was late in the night. We were all sleeping. I couldn't sleep. Every little sound, I was awake. I was crying. I was whimpering. My grandmother woke up, was speaking to me. Do you know I couldn't stay in the dark for months on end just because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Anyway, the point of my gist is this. When your parents tell you to do something, you decide to do your own thing, you always have a result. And when God Especially when God tells you, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. You just think, well, they want to stop me from enjoying my life. Let me just enjoy my life. Well, I thought I was enjoying my life. I went and watched a horror movie. I thought I was enjoying my life. I lost the key to the house. I disobeyed my parents. At the end of the day, I ended up with so much stress that honestly, I don't even know why I did what I did. And I've just found out that when it comes to the obedience, you know what? It's cheaper, it's easier, and it's better for you to obey God. So, what's my gist for you today? Obey God. Obey God. Just obey Him, honestly. So you don't end up with some effects of disobedience. Okay, Nando Williams here with Conversations on Church Gossip. So, have a good day, everybody. God bless.